Welcome back to the series of videos on how to use the econometrics notes. In the previous video, we saw how to use pre-compilation of a system image to make the notes run, the example code run quickly. In this video, we're going to look at how to make the whole experience a little more comfortable using a code editor. I'm going to show you how to use Visual Studio Code with the Julia extension. The first thing you need to do is install VS Code. You can get it from this web page here, and you've got the download button. Okay, I've already downloaded it, so now let's see how to configure it for use with Julia. You open up the code editor, and the first thing you need to do is install the Julia extension. This icon here is for extensions, so I'll click there, and up here in the search box I just search for Julia, and there we find the extension. Okay, I'll install that extension, and we need to configure it. To configure it, you go to this little gear here, and we'll want to look at the extension settings. Okay, there are two things we need to do. We need to make sure that the extension found our Julia installation correctly, and right here in the executable path, you want to make sure that this is pointing to your Julia installation. If you happen to have more than one Julia installation, you need to make sure this is going to the one you want to use. Okay, normally the code editor will find the extension, and for most people, you won't need to change this. The other thing we want to make sure is that it's going to use that system image that we pre-compiled in the last video. You need to go down here and where is it? Yeah, there we go. Use custom system image. You want to make sure that that is checked so that the code editor will use that image that we compiled in the last video. Okay, so this is all set up correctly. There's one other thing I want to do to make sure I don't make silly mistakes. I'm installing this extension as well, because that's what I use myself. Most of you do not want to do this, so that's just for my personal comfort. Okay, so we've installed the Julia extension and we've got it configured. The next thing we want to do is open up our econometrics notes project. We want to go to the folder where we installed it and open up that folder. So I go to Explorer here, and I want to open a folder. And I want to make sure that I select the folder where I've installed the notes, which in my case is this econometrics folder. Okay, I'm going to add that. And you can see I now have my econometrics folder installed here. Okay. Now, one thing you can notice is down here in the task, in this little blue bar down here, it found that it found the Julia system image that we made the other time, and it's using the project which is defined in the folder that we just opened. Okay, so you should see that the environment is econometrics here. All right, and now we're ready to run some code. I can go to, for example, this practical summaries, looking at the optimization file here. Okay, so this is the summary that accompanies chapter 12 in the notes, and we can just make sure that things are running okay. Let's go down to something that is a little visual. Okay, now I'm going to just click Alt-Enter. I'm going to press Alt-Enter to execute this block here, right? Between the two hash marks, the double hash mark here and the double hash mark here, those define a block. So I want to execute this block. I press Alt-Enter. Now, using VS Code, things are a little bit slower than if we were just working out at the terminal level, but it's pretty quick, and And especially once you make the initial using Julia step, using econometric step, things are going to be quick. Okay. This is my brand new first use of the package, so it takes a little while to get going. Okay. Okay, now you can see that we have that was evaluated, the function is defined, and now we can go down here and see what that function looks like. I press Alt-Enter to execute this code block. This one is also taking a little while to get started because it's using this Plotly JavaScript. Okay, that didn't take too long though. And now you can see we can move that graphic around. We observe that there are several local minima. If we want to try to minimize that function, we can go down here, execute this block to define the function ready for minimization. And then we can go down and minimize that function by executing this block here. And we found the global minimum on the first try through luck, because if we run this a few times, you see that we don't always find the global minimum. It bounces around between the three local minima. Okay? So that's basically how to use VS Code. It's pretty simple to set up, and I think for most people this is going to be the type of interface that is effective to use. The ability to execute code blocks is very useful in lectures and maybe what students want to do as well. Okay, thank you. That's the end of this video.